Good morning, Santa Clarita. Delgado here with you, and it's Tuesday, June 10th, and in studio we have Carl Goldman back again with a guest. Good morning, Carl.
You know, I made a big mistake, Delgado, because our next guest is the owner of a number of Domino's franchises. I did him here to be in the studio and didn't ask him to bring a pizza.
Right? There's no pizza in the morning. What's better?
I know.
I can't be.
It would have worked. Dennis Schwesinger is here, and Dennis, you're a native Californian, but been in Santa Clarita for a number of years. Opened your first Domino's here in the early 90s over on Lyons Avenue, right down the block. You own now Domino's throughout the country, am I right? Or throughout California?
I have 10 in Southern Cal, and then a partnership for 3 up Northern Cal.
Oh, wow. And then how many in Santa Clarita?
We're building the 8th. We have 7 current, and then in a couple of weeks we'll open our 8th location here.
And we invited you here because you won a prestigious award with Domino's. There's over 750 Domino's franchises now, right? Or franchisee owners.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And you won what Gold Award for community involvement and being just a great guy. Tell us about it.
We were just honored to get the award that they give to franchisees based on results through the years, through that, every calendar year. And, we just had a performance from a team that I've had with me for a long time. It's just a great team, and we were just really happy to, be awarded this from the corporation.
It's really fascinating to find out your origins and how you started with Domino's, and you started as a driver. Tell us about that.
I started while I was going to college, and through driving at the location.
And this was college right here in Northridge,
yes,
right?
Yes. I went local, and while I was driving, I just got to see a little bit about the business, learn a little bit, and when the opportunity came around to be able to manage, they offered a store. Pizza store, and I thought it would be a great at the time. And that time the corporation in was owned by they were all corporate stores. They weren't franchises. So I got to work for essentially the biggest franchisee at the time, which was a corporation, and so I had a lot of that to grow, and which led to eventually franchising.
And if we look into the crystal ball, 10 years from now, we're going to see driverless cars delivering pizza or drones delivering your pizza. So the opportunity to start from be a different bottom, right?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever get away from having some type of drivers for delivery, but definitely there's a lot of other technologies and a lot of other ideas that are coming up for these delivery that will eventually be, a lot of the deliveries will be that direction.
What do you think, Delgado? If you're delivered by a drone, how would you handle that?
That'd be fine. As long as it's hot and doesn't get shaken up and turned upside down, I'm good with it.
What kind of tip are you going to leave?
Oh, yeah. We'll see if it's We'll see if it comes ready hot and fresh.
The human element. It's hard to justify tipping. Yeah.
I think they're going to eventually do that because they're testing it out at Whole Foods with delivering groceries.
Oh yeah,
and of course Amazon's doing it.
Yeah, there's been tests with Domino's that they've done drone delivery, robotic car delivery. So there's definitely down the road that's going to be something that you're going to see a lot more of.
Owning so many Domino's in California, it's always a challenge. And I know I'm friends with the owner of a number of IHOP. Actually, he's the largest IHOP franchisee owner in the country and is based here in Santa Clarita. And about 10 years ago, he was building IHOPs in Delaware and Vegas, and he had already owned a bunch here. So I asked him, I said, when are you going to build the next one here in Santa Clarita? And he said, I will never build another restaurant in California because it's such a challenge. Do you find that?
I think anywhere you go, there's going to be challenges to whatever geographic area is. I mean, with all the benefits you get from being in California, just obviously the weather, but just the environment, I think you just it. And for me, the solution always has been just developing a great team and keeping that team with you. And that's one of the things I have probably We have just so many employees in this valley that have worked for us for decades, and so they understand the message. They understand what our goal is and how we operate these stores and the service we want to provide the customers. So I think if you're able to do that, it kind of supersedes anything that they're going to be able to throw at you through the local area that you operate.
And Dennis, you've also, I think, you do so much tie-ins with the community over the years, and I think you share that with your staff as well, and it kind of seeps out to everybody else. You played football at Cal State Northridge.
Yes.
Delivering Domino's, and then when you moved up here with your family and opened your first Domino's franchise, you started coaching here in Santa Clarita. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I that's one of the things I loved about the job and having the opportunity to own my own business is it allowed me the flexibility schedule, and that allowed me to coach, which I really loved. My passion was coaching, so I coached football at all levels here in Santa Clarita, from football to high school football, and my kids all played all different sports. I also coached high school girls basketball, which I really loved.
So your daughter played tackle football here in Santa Clarita,
Yes.
which I never realized was happened.
Yeah, she was one of the first. There's a lot more tackle football now, but she was one of the first. She played for the Wildcats. She played for I think 6 years, and she did play a running back and defensive end, and had a great coach and just a great team, a great organization up there with the Wildcats.
So you got to make sure that I mess with her, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with her. Yeah, definitely.
But then the really exciting thing is one of your sons just got drafted into the NFL.
My middle son, Carson Schwesinger, he played at Santa Clarita Christian, and then he played at Oaks Christian. His last few years were at UCLA, and then this last draft, he was a 33rd pick in the draft. So he's a Cleveland Brown right now.
So your allegiance is going to have to switch over to Cleveland now.
Exactly. We're big.
Yeah. That happened to me with Philadelphia when my friend ended up buying the Eagles. So
Okay.
I'm now a diehard Eagle fan. So
Yep.
you and I are going to be
Exactly.
over time.
Exactly.
I was talking about Domino's delivering with drones, but where do you see the whole industry changing over the next decade?
I think they're just going to have to find ways to be able to deliver to the customer, and obviously looking at the cost, there is some cost benefit to using some type of remote delivery, finding other ways to be able to get customers their pizza how they want it. So we offer they can come pick it up. We're developing some drive-through locations where they don't have to just can come pick up their order, and we also have curbside service, so they just don't have to get out of there. So just making it easy for them to get pizza when they want delivery, pickup, or they don't want to get out of their car.
And of course, in the last few years, the app for all restaurants is easier too.
Yeah, we're 85% digital right now, so 85% of our orders come in through digital media.
And that will probably just increase more and more.
It just keeps going on. I mean, 2 decades ago, I had 15 phone lines at this Newhall location with people taking orders, and now 8 just pop on the screen. People do it on their own tablet or iPhone or computer. And
the payment is seamless too with the app. So
yes, we went from cash and check, 0 credit card to 85% electronic payment as well.
What about competition? Where do you see that increasing, changing, decreasing?
Yeah, the pizza. I've always looked at the pizza industry has always been a competitive. There's a lot of different industries like that, but competitive industry. Always going to be players out there, and my focus is what I spend my time on is just making sure that what you do it the best. So we really focus on just having a fresh, good product, delivering it as quickly as possible, safely to the customer, and that combination has been successful in Santa Clarita for us.
Do all the franchisee owners get together once a year for a Domino's convention?
We do. We have a big convention every 2 years. So every year there is a more. But every 2 years there's a worldwide rally, and I think last year there was close to 10,000 people from all over the world, every country in the world, over 20,000 units nationwide, and managers and supervisors and all the personnel from stores all over the world come, and it's a big event. We have it, I think Mandalay Bay, a few years, it's, the room is as big as a couple of football fields, just full of Domino's, all people Domino's dressed, cheering, and it's a blast. It's fun to take newer managers there because they just have never, the scope of watching this whole thing and the energy that's there really for months afterwards.
So you just reminded me that last summer we traveled through Scandinavia and Germany on a cruise, and every time we stopped, we saw more Domino's in those countries, in those cities, than any other American franchise.
Yeah, there's a lot of countries that the number one market share leader in fast food. And then, some of the other things, we used to do a lot of school events with the children with things that cool were some of the toppings that were popular in the rest of the world. In Japan, like squid and peas, and a lot of the European countries, there's potatoes and all different type of stuff that you just wouldn't think is good on pizza, but they're, some of their most popular pizzas are toppings that, just wouldn't sound great to us. Or
my wife loves pizza, but she hates peas, so you just gave me an idea to make sure that I can get the large pizza by putting peas on the pizza.
Squid and peas, yeah.
That's very, very funny. So when they have the convention next time, will they do a special for your Gold Franny Award?
Yeah, this one was on an off year, so we did an event in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So they flew the Gold Frannies out, and we got to go to the headquarters, and they did a online worldwide awards ceremony, live streamed, and then we got to go to the Ford Museum for a really nice event, and it was a blast. They did a great job, and they've always done that.
The Ford Museum is incredible.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that everyone should put on their to-do list when you travel around. You're opening a new in Santa Clarita, our Canyon Country home area over by Sand Canyon, the new development that's diagonal from Vaughn's.
Yeah, we're at the end stage of that. It was the first time that we've gone into a center that's a brand new. The whole center was built. So most of the time we take over a location, kind of retrofitting it. This one was a total new build. So it was a great experience to go through. The center's the main tenant opened up. It's pretty popular already, and there's a lot of great tenants in it. We're looking probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks is what I project us being open. Yeah, it's just a really nice center, really nice area, and we're really looking forward to getting that one, being able to service that area even with a closed Domino's.
Yeah, that's exciting, and it's so great to see so many new things coming to Canyon Country, which usually is the last place. A lot of restaurants, stores, and such. So.
Right, and especially that side. That side, there was just kind of a limited area shop and restaurants. You really had to drive into the heart of Santa Clarita to get to the most restaurants or most retail shops. So yeah, it was an opportunity to get in there and just be closer to that part of town.
Yeah, when my wife and I moved here in 1990, we moved to Sand Canyon, and they were already talking about the of that shopping center, and that was 25 years ago. So they sped right through that.
Yes.
Anyway, Dennis, thank you so much for stopping. Every time you come here, you've got to bring the pea pizza.
I know a guy who can get some great ones in here for us.
Or just some pineapple and ham. I'll take that one.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Take it away.
Thank you for coming on in. And if you missed that interview or caught the tail end of it, you can catch it in its entirety by heading on over to Facebook and YouTube by searching